Salutations, boys and girls. Today we're going to talk about letter sounds. But instead of just doing one letter sound, we're going to talk about two different letter sounds. We're going to look at some little items out of the letter tubs, and we're going to decide if it starts with one of the letter sounds or the other letter sounds. We're going to write down on a graph each thing that we sort by beginning sound. Let me show you what I mean. Whenever you make a little chart and you're putting things on one side or the other, you're sorting. That means putting things together in a group where something matches, where something is the same. We're going to look at these two letters, N and R. We're going to look at some little toys and decide what the toy's beginning sound is, and then decide which side of our letter graph it should go on. We're sorting by beginning sound. That means we're doing a little bit of reading stuff with our letter sounds, but we're also doing math because whenever you sort things that match, you're doing a math skill too. This is called a graph. A graph is a chart that helps you count. Say graph. Good. We're going to graph in things and are things. Now, before we get started, we have to review what sounds do these two letters make. Let's start with the letter N. N makes this sound. Watch my mouth as it gets ready to make the N sound. Mmm, mmm. Did you see how my lips pulled back? Mmm, mmm. Now let's talk about the letter R and what sound the letter R makes. Watch my mouth. We have to get it ready to make the letter sound. Er, er. Did you see how my lips pushed out like in a kiss? That's how your mouth gets ready for the R sound. Er. So we're going to look at some little toys now and decide what's the beginning sound of that toy. Is it N or is it er? Are you ready? Here we go. I'm going to hold up our first little item. It's a little bitty toy that if you wind it up, you can walk. Can you tell what kind of toy it is? If you said robot, you're right. What's the beginning sound of robot? Did you say If you did, you're right. Robot starts with the letter R sound. So what I'm going to do is take my graph. Here's my N side of my graph, and here's my R side. Since robot starts with our sound, I'm going to write that word robot on this side of my graph. ROBOT. Do you see how my very first letter is R? Robot. I put the robot word under my R in my graph. Let's keep going. My next item. Oh, do you remember this from our N video? It's a teeny tiny notebook. That's a little pad with lots of papers that you can write on. Say notebook, notebook. Did you see the shape my mouth made? Notebook. Notebook. Does that begin with a N or a er? If you said N, you're right. Notebook begins with the letter N sound. So I'm going to put that word on this side of my graph. Spell notebook with me. Here we go. Notebook. That word is notebook. So I have one word on this side and one word on this side of my graph. Let's keep going. Our next little item. Oh, what's this, friends? It's a little teeny tiny nest where a bird would lay her eggs. Say nest. Mm. You see the shape my mouth is making? Nest. Does nest begin with N or R? If you said N, you're right. Nest begins with the letter R. Let's write the word nest on the inside, this side of my graph. Spell nest. What's the first letter? N. That's right. Spell nest. Go. N-E-S-T. Nest. Now I have two N words on this side of my graph. I have notebook and nest. Both of them begin with the letter N sound. Next little toy. What's this, my friends? You see it up in the sky after it's rained sometimes, and you see all the different colors in the light spectrum. What do you call that? Did you say rainbow? Rainbow. If you said rainbow, you're correct. Now, what's the beginning sound of rainbow? My mouth said r, so it's the letter R. Rainbow starts with an R sound. Say rainbow. Good. Let's write that word on my R side of the graph. Here we go. Spell rainbow. Ready, set, go. RAINBOW. Rainbow. I have two words now on my letter graph that begin with the R sound. I've got two more toys here. Here we go. What's this, friends? It's very shiny. It has a ruby in the middle and diamonds around the side. And you wear them on your fingers. What do you call that? Did you say ring? Good job. Ring. My lips pushed out. So am I making an N sound at the beginning or an R sound? Ring. It's an R sound. Ring begins with the letter R. Let's write that word down on my graph. Say graph. On the R side, let's spell ring. What's the first letter? R. Go. R-I-N-G. Ring begins with the letter R. Next toy. Stay right there. Very good. Okay, what's this? Oh, I remember Mr. Teddy had this one day when he was crabbing. It's a net, a little bitty net. Say net. Watch my mouth. Net. Did you see my mouth get ready to make that sound? Net. What's the beginning sound of net? Is it or If you said you're right. Net begins with the letter N sound. Let's write that word net on my inside of my graph. Ready? Spell it with me. N-E-T. Net. Now, if I look at my little graph, I see N on this side. I see the letter R on this side. All of these words start with the sound. And all of these words start with the sound. We sorted things by beginning sound. And then we wrote the words down on the right side of the graph. Either this side for N words and this side for R words. Will you say them with me? Good. Let's say the N words first. Ready, set, go. Say notebook, nest, net. 1, 2, 3. I have 3 words on this side of my graph. Now let's say our R words. Robot, rainbow, ring. 1, 2, 3. I have three words on this side of my graph. Both sides are equal. Three words that start with a sound and three words that start with the sound. That's called sorting by beginning sound.